Good morning, and thank you. Let me greet Morgan Doyle, representing the Inter-American Development Bank, of course, Mijail, who leads our budget department, visitors from the Organization for the Economic Development, to share with you, and I thank you for being here today, a few ideas that, in particular, for the Ministry of Economy and Finance, or for the Uruguayan government, and I would say the Uruguayan society as a whole, constitute essential topics. We may find that the most interesting word or concept is budget. This is why we are all here today. But I would go back to the concept of policy, because today we will refer to policies. Economic policies, above all, is a policy. And it's an essential activity for human beings who make up a society, and it aims to transform the reality we are part of to a certain extent. We previously chose. We make politics to change our society, and I'm referring to politics in the most abstract sense, but also from an important viewpoint and understanding politics in the sense of choosing aims to achieve goals, to achieve roads or paths to take in order to attain those goals. These are strategies which always open up options to us, except for those extreme cases when those options, for different reasons, are limited, and sometimes there are no choices and they limit what we, those who make politics, can do. This is not the case of Uruguay. We are in a country with different options, with alternatives. Uruguay does not have, in a way, exclusive or mandatory roads to take. We can choose those roads, and this is part of politics, to build alternatives, to build options. And for this reason, there may be more than one way or road, a strategic one, considering time, different variables, regions, social organizations, to attain the goals we set. And we also consider instruments, what we could call instruments, which are essentially the administration of power. There is no politics without power. And this essential trait of a human process, as the one we are analyzing today, is ultimately what leads us to success or failure in the processes we are designing and implementing. Now, these are generic definitions of what is going to be explicitly, implicitly present throughout today's activity, involving all the elements we've mentioned before. But it's key to think about the design And it is not a question of tools, but also the instruments that we use for this design, but also for this design to be the best design in the light of the variables that need to be considered. There's no absolute concepts. It all depends on the starting point of the politics we're making and those goals we want to attain. But when we start to define our plan, we are not just talking about policies and politics. We need to have a good design. This is a different concept. You may wonder, what does well-designed mean? This concept is defined from the sphere of politics. This is the substantial content of politics that needs to lead us to the design that ensures the best quality. And this is when we start discussing about the quality of politics. And for this reason, we've found methodologies, instruments to work for this quality and to have a positive attitude towards this quality. And one of those instruments is budget. A budget that we defined as a fiscal and financial expression of a political project. Even for a government's plan. This is what a budget is about. And this budget will include all of these tools of power organized in a way that enables from their combination quality levels in the design of the policy that we want, and it will be a kind of a star. The budget instrument with its two main parts, public income and expenditure, and defining things that has to do with the direction we are following. Because when we speak about income and expenditure in the public sphere, this means where the government is getting the resources from and what is it allocating it to, where it receives it from and where it invests. This can define a whole orientation and simultaneously provide and supply concepts and tools that result in the quality of policies. But obviously the fiscal instrument is not the only element in a budget. It is, in a way, the star. It's the essential tool of this fiscal and financial expression in a government's plan. But if this fiscal instrument is not consistent with other instruments in the economic policies as monetary income, as the essential financial baseline that should be providing the grounds for the macroeconomic consistency, will be in trouble. Problems with quality in what we want to work gradually better from this viewpoint. Also, there are other things we need to bear in mind that we will surely refer to throughout the reflections that we will share today. A budget is about more information, is an engine that produces information and horizontal information, which at the same time constitutes a sort of stimulus for strengthening institutions. More information, better information, more institutional strength, these are also ingredients that lead us on this way to better quality expressions in the preparation of the budget's content. And as we make progress, we will have the chance to stop to discuss goals in a quantitative and qualitative way, to assess the results we are obtaining, to rectify the decisions we're making, and subsequently continuing on this way the methodology offers, improving the quality of economic policies. Dear friends, thanks for being here in this important activity. This is going to help us at the ministry and in the basis of the budget, as it will to many of the institutions that are represented here, to get a better quality in the content and the application of the economic policies. Thank you very much.